Money is an essential part of life, and as you invest, create a business, or trade your money for time, you're not protected from emergency situations. You may lose your job, a medical emergency may need your financial backing, or your car may completely break down. And even if you are the most patient and level-headed human being, you still need some financial cushion for these unexpected events that will pop up here and there in life. So how do you create and build an emergency fund that protects you and makes you feel safe? That's what we discuss this Friday Finance on Africa Assemble. Financial education is important and we take it seriously on this channel. However, we stress that we are not financial advisors. All ideas and information are food for thought. Before you make a financial endeavor, use some financial sense. Okay, now let's dive in. The first step to building an emergency fund is to determine how much money you want to save as an emergency fund. This depends on your situation in life. Are you still living with your parents? Are you married? Are you married with 3 children? And where in Africa do you live? The answer to these questions are references to determine how much money should be locked away somewhere to protect you. If you are living alone, $1,000 should be okay for an emergency. However, if you are a parent, your emergency fund may need to be bigger, which also depends on the amount of children you take care of every day. Determining this would also require you to understand how much you spend on the necessities of life and multiplying them by 3. A common idea is to save up to 3 months of expenses as an emergency fund. Though this does not sound like a small number, having the right discipline to build this amount of money is key. The second step is to determine how you build your emergency fund. Initially, you will have to create a separate account to allocate this money. It is easy to create another account. However, it may be better for you to create an account with another bank just to have a distinction of what the account is for. You also have to determine the type of account that will house this emergency fund. Will this be a checking account that will be easily accessible? Or would it be a savings account that may not be as easy to access but will generate you some sort of interest over time? Perhaps you could be very risky and put your emergency fund into a stock market account. This would increase or decrease the value over time. To grow this fund, you will need a strategy, being passive or active. An active way of building your fund is to allocate a certain amount either on a weekly or a monthly basis. A passive way would be to let your bank relocate a percentage of your income to the emergency fund account. Ask a local bank if there are any saving programs that could aid you in growing your fund. There are some accounts that round up what you spend to the nearest dollar and reallocate it to the savings account. This way, the more you spend, the more money moves to your separate checking or savings account. The third and final step is to determine how to replenish your emergency fund in the event that it's used. Of course, there's a chance the emergency fund will be touched. So when this does happen, how do you replenish it? Of course, if you took out $500 from your emergency fund, it may not be easy to return that amount overnight. So what do you do? The slow but sure way is to charge yourself interest on using it. So if you took out that $500, then you owe yourself $550 or whatever interest you want to charge yourself. This hopefully keeps you focused to build your fund again with the high potential of increasing it from before. So if you follow the first 2 steps, congratulations. You are on your way to bulletproofing yourself from the unexpected situations of life. But before we leave you, here are some warnings to heed. Do not confuse your emergency fund with your retirement fund. Emergencies will always happen in life, even after retirement, so you still want to build both separately. Try as much as possible not to use credit cards as an emergency fund. You will just owe more money to the lender as credit card interest can be high. And lastly, remember that building your emergency fund takes discipline and patience, as saving up for an emergency is not fun. However, if the moment does come when you need this money, you'll be thankful that you do not have to touch the money you use for daily sustenance. Now we turn the question to you. What strategies do you know out there to build an emergency fund? And what do you think a decent amount to have for an emergency fund should be? If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please help us by liking the video. It only costs you a click, but it helps us here at Africa Assemble. Till next time, brothers and sisters, spend well.